Okay, good afternoon, folks. Hope everyone is well. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I've been playing around with these Guardian Angel trader settings. I just saw the market start to move quick, and I didn't realise we already opened. So, good afternoon or good morning wherever you are. Speedy, how you doing, pal? So, I have Guardian Angel Trader. So I've just been going through the settings trying to get, yes I did, mate. I thought, well, at the end of the day, I think it's worth it as a fail-safe, isn't it? Just in case anything goes wrong. So, Straight Lines Tattoo, how you doing, bud? Morning to you. So, yeah, I mean, I hadn't revenge traded for 4 months. I didn't think I would again, but I was just in a really bad frame of mind, and I just, you know, sometimes we snap, don't we? We snap at friends or family. And I just happened to snap at the market. It only took a couple of seconds to get me in a bit of trouble. So I'll just quickly go through this. Now, I have my time set from 2:30 to 6 o'clock UK time. Now, that is when mainstream market opens. And the reason for that is whenever I've got into trades pre-market, things are slow and I tend to lack a bit of confidence sometimes. So I think the safest bet is just to get it when I start to stream. So that is the first thing I've done. I obviously just done it Monday to Friday. So unallowed trading times, I haven't bothered with that. Now this was one I've implemented, $500. Now remind me if anybody knows, use unrealized P&L. I can't remember what that means. If I select that, if, let's say I'm in a trade and it goes 510 against me and then would have gone, does it close me out of the trade if I hit $500, even if I'm in a trade? I'm pretty sure if I don't select that, I was playing around with it with a sim, and I'm pretty sure if I hit $500 after, say, a loss, it won't let me again. It won't kick me out of the trade. Because if I've took a $300 loss, say, or let's say I've took a $375 loss, that gives me $125 left. If I go $150 in the red part trade before it eventually goes on to win, I'm pretty sure if I don't have that selected, it won't kick me out of a trade, because what you don't want to do is sort of get kicked out of trade while you're sort of in the middle of it. Where are we? So that's it. Your daily limit is 250. Yeah. Well, if I take, oh, what's flashing around? If I take a loss, usually it's around about the $275 to $375, which doesn't leave me much. And I'm pretty sure what I don't want it to do is kick me out of a trade when I'm in the middle of it that may eventually gone on to win. Do you know what I mean? So you're doing one contract. Yeah, so that's about right then, isn't it? So if you lose a trade and say lose $150, you've got $100 left. If you're in a trade and it goes $125 against you, does it close your trade, or does it let you finish your trade and then stop you from trading? That's the one thing. That's the one thing I kind of wanted to find out. So that's that. Daily profit I haven't bothered with. Drawdown, trading account, total trades. It closes it. Okay. What if I have... Yeah, that might be a better option, actually. I'm going to have to play around with that on a sim, actually, a little bit and just get the feel of that. Would have to kick you out, or you can always move your stop. Yeah, that's what I want to avoid, see. Now, I don't generally have a problem with moving my stop, but another one I think that's interesting as well is position size. It only lets me take 2 contracts at one time. So if you were to say decide to double up, it won't let you do it. It will close your trade only if you select use unrealized. Okay. So that is something to think about, because what I don't want to do is be 375 down, take a second trade for it to go against me a bit. Guardian Angel closes it and then not to hit me stop and then to go on and win the trade. That's what I don't want to do. So what I think I need to do is daily loss is, do I select use unrealized profits? Is that what I would do? Is it? Okay, you just said it will close your trade only if you select. Okay. Right, so I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So it's still going to be a bit fresh. I haven't locked any of the times yet in case I've got something wrong. There's no point in not being able to make any adjustments straight away. So position size, that was another one that I think it doesn't let me open anything more than 2 contracts, which I think is good. That's my maximum. If you're going to revenge trade, usually you'll double up or triple up or quadruple up or whatever you do. So losing trades, I've enabled that if I lose 2 consecutive trades. So if I have a loss, a win, and a loss, it won't kick me out. If I have a win, a loss, a win. So what I think I'm better off doing is I've got my maximum 500 anyway. So if I just leave it at that for now, winning trades I haven't touched, losing timeout. So this I think can be useful. In the past, you know, sometimes if you take a short here and it stops you out and you think it's going up and you jump straight back into a long and it ends up coming back down in the same position. So sometimes you can get straight back into another trade. So I think waiting 10 minutes after a trade is not a bad thing. So I'm going to enable that just to give me that 10 minutes of a little bit of a break and a bit of breathing space. Losing trades timeout, I've left that. Winning trades, weekly loss, I haven't bothered with that. Lock settings. So this is what I need to, I'm just going to give it a day or so just to get used to these settings, and then I will lock it. So I can only trade it or change it after 10 o'clock UK time when the market closes for its hour. So what I might do is lock it all week, so I can only use it between the hours of 10 and 11 when the market's actually closed. I think that would be probably better, but I'm going to leave that for the day. Now, ATF rules, I've put don't allow DCA. I tend to not do it anyway, but I think it's pretty good. And then if you go to settings, I put hide, remove Ninja script assembly. So that, I believe, stops you from deleting the software. Now, this was one thing I noticed. I am trading account number 59, and this morning I've gone through and copied each individual trade. Do I have to do that at the start of every day or not? I'm just going to move that over a bit. So I'm just going to chuck that on a separate screen just for a minute. So it'll just give me that little bit of extra safety. So there's a new low there. Yeah, so that's what I want to know, really. Do I have to say copy trade every time I trade? So if I use my account 59, which is the oldest account, and just copy trade the rest, if I change the settings on 59 and only ever trade that, I've got it on 59 now. So that is my oldest account. That's about 2.5 months old, that one. So if I just copy the rest, but I just want to know if I've got to do it at the start of every day, or do I have to do it after I make a change? That's all I want to know, after I make a change. No. Okay, so if I make a change, it'll automatically copy it, will it? You don't have to. Brilliant. So once I've done it once, it just copies it, yeah? Until I click, I think it's reset, isn't it? If I reset accounts, it uncopies them, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure that's what that's for. You need to press copy to whatever account you want it after. Right, okay. So if I make a change, do I have to redo that or not? This is interesting. Let's have a look. I think you have to. Yeah, okay. All the rest after. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. It doesn't hurt to do it anyway, does it? It doesn't hurt to do it. But it's just one click, isn't it? Yeah, I wish they'd come up with a way that you can select all counts. So you can, like a little cross, so you can say, a little box where like tick, 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 tick. Because currently you have to select every single one, don't you? I might see if there's a suggestion. You can suggest something in an email or something, because it might be useful, that. Okay, possible second entry long, yeah.
Order submitted. Order filled.
I thought I got 200 there. Okay, that's fine. Anyway, everything's closed. I got 200 on one or two of them. Okay, second entry long. It's probably going to nip across there. Everything worked like it's supposed to. I think so. Okay, it is a second entry long, that. If it breaks above there and there, it's probably going to... but there's bound to be some people short in that. So you've had a channel down. I think a few people took that. So, yeah, it is working. So I like that. So let's put that there. It is a second entry long. We've got a spike and channel with a break. There's going to be some liquidity there for sure. How come we didn't wait for the two legs? That's the reason. Now, it may work, but if I'd have waited for the two legs, I'd have been in a bad position now. So there's your first leg. There's my second leg. Now, once it's broken above that liquidity, there's nothing else there really, maybe here, but I only go for generally 2 points. I thought I did there. I went to put it above there because usually if it takes that bit out, usually it would take that bit out, but I just scalp for 2 points usually. Now, strangely enough, it's a 1.75 there. I thought I got that short-term trend created. The second entry was sketchy. Well, to be honest with you, if you look at that one there, it looked much better there. I just happened to take it on here. It looked a bit better there. It is a second entry. It did go up and it did work. Let's have a look. Anybody take it here? Wasn't two legs. Back to the EMA. Well, I liked it because I thought there's going to be some shorts trapped there because we've just come off the bottom. So let's have a look. That looks a spike and channel for me. As we know, whenever we make a break of a channel, we usually make a new extreme. And this looks like we're probably going to... it looked much better on this chart here. The bar was fuller. And there we go, new extreme. So it did what it was supposed to. Let's have a look. You took it on a sim, but I keep getting burned by the You've got to look at the... I'll tell you something for now. It's not... Most of the time, it's not the setup, it's the context that gets you into trouble. Now, for me, the context is telling me we're going sideways. So we had a channel. So we've got two channels here, I'd say. So the first channel is there, okay? So we've had a break of that channel. We've had 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. Or you could say we've had that. And we've had a small break there, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. So that's technically played out. This to me looks like it's bottoming. Now I would say 100% there's going to be traders trapped there and there. So for me, this is going to push up. And when we pushed up and came back, there is support along there, which we've bounced off perfectly. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. There's support there, and we've bounced 2 bars off and engulfed that there. So for me, the biggest load of liquidity is here. This is played out. So for me, now, someone said, why didn't I take the second leg? Now, it did go up for a second leg. right to the nearest tick. But all I want to do is get me 2 points. Now, bearing in mind, I've got a $2,500 liquidity, so getting 2 points is about 8% profit in one trade. Now, 8% profit for one trade is brilliant. If you take 3 trades, so 8% profit, if I take 3 trades in a week, I've made 24% profit on my account in 1 week. That's absolutely incredible. So the reason, now, bearing in mind, I'm risking about 10% of my pot. Now, for a professional trader, 10% really is a bit unheard of. Most traders will say around about 2%. But there's 2 reasons. One, I go for high probability trades, so I expect to win 90% of them. And 2, although I've got a $2,500 drawdown, I'm only really risking $140 because that's what that account. So having the ability to have $2,500 to trade with has only cost me $140. So that's the reason I trade a little bit more. So I'm quite happy to get my 2 points. So, but this to me is played out. We've pushed above the EMA. We've had 2 legs that, well, you could say that's 2 legs down. It's actually really 1 leg. But the context look okay to me. So, yeah, it's not even really a leg that to me. There's probably, I don't know. But what I'm saying is there's going to be traders trapped in there for sure. So when this pushed up to here, for me, the next port of liquidity was likely to be here. We did have 2 perfect legs up, but when that comes back like that, the trouble is if you take your points there like that, and this comes back and takes you out, you've lost $275 in drawdown. So even though you don't take a trade, even though you may have not taken a trade, you've lost some extra drawdown. So, I got a 0.75 on 9 of them, and 2 points on 1 of them, because I thought I'd put it to 2 points. Initially, I wanted to put it above there, because usually if it breaks there, that lower high, it'll have a little push. So a lot of the times I like to just stick it on that line, because if it breaks above it, it'll take your profit. So there may be a bigger channel here. Let's have a look. Yeah. So we want to come down a bit further here. Let me have a look, see if we can get another trade here. That looks nice. You took the lower high. The lower high. Oh, you took that one there, did you? After the 2 legs. Yeah. So what are we actually really doing? So there is possibly a second entry long, but for me, it might trigger and come back down here. So I'm just staying out of this at the moment. It looks nice on there, but it may trigger and come back down. Yeah, Thomas Wade said I can't take a second entry long below the EMA, so really you've got to wait for it to push above the EMA. But what I'd like to do is to see this bearish and for it to trigger and close bullish on the next bar. It was the key entry point 2 on mine, 8 ticks on your chart. Yeah, hey buddy, how you doing? What, you took the short or you took the long, bud? So at the moment it's kind of ranging, isn't it? But the trouble is we're not getting properly, it's not aligning very well, is it? Let's see what happens now. So I expect that may get taken out. In fact, I'm not even convinced that's a channel. Let's leave that a minute. Took the failure. You took it here, did you, Brant? Yeah? That failure there, failed entry long, yeah? Oh, stay there. Stay. You done, are you? Good on you, mate. Yeah, not a brilliant bar there, but that one, that smaller chart looked nice. Finish right on its low. But I just wasn't sure there was a bigger channel up there, see? So I didn't want to get involved here just in case. But it's hard to know exactly what's going on, whether there is something larger possibly brewing. There's always that chance. It's a bit early yet, but it's a possibility. So spike in a channel, break, 2 pushes up to a new high. Lower high, yeah, I suppose if you're going to take that, it's good it's trapping the bull bar. To take that to the EMA, how much was there? Yeah, you'd have got 2 points, I think. What you did. But to the EMA, there's a couple of points. Yeah, so I just wanted to play around with this Guardian Angel trader just for a couple of days before I lock any settings. Because what I don't want to do is lock the settings till the market finishes tonight and realise I've made a mistake and I can't trade. But what I will say at the moment is I've put down what I'm trading anyway, the ES, that's obviously the current contract, allowed trading times. These are the trading times I'm going to allow myself. Now, bearing in mind that's UK time, which that's 9:30 US time to 6 o'clock. I tend to finish around about the 5:30, but that gives me that extra 30 minutes if I need it. Now, I believe that if I'm in a trade come 6 o'clock, that's fine. The trade it'll allow the trade, but after the trade is closed or the position's closed, it won't allow me to take another trade. So daily loss, I put $500. Now $500 really is 2.5 winning trades to get that back. So it's not terrible. So on a bad day, let's say $500. I can't remember the last time I was $500 down on a day. It was a while ago. I think 375 was probably the worst for a while. So daily profit I don't tend to bother with. Daily drawdown, trailing, none of these. Position loss, no. Position size, definitely. That's an important one. That's an important one. So I've set maximum of 2 contracts, which is what I trade anyway, but it will stop me double clicking. Let's say the worst happened and I ended up going a bit silly. It will stop me double clicking. It will only allow 1 trade at a time. And I've got losing trades down at 2. Now, what I need to find out is if I come out at break even, does that consider that a loss? It would be nice to have a little bit of flexibility of a tick above, a tick profit or a tick loss. Because sometimes, if I get out for a tick loss, I don't consider that a loss really. It's more just sort of getting out as best I can. But I don't want that to consider as a loss. Anything more than a tick. Well, let's say anything more than 2 ticks, I'd probably consider that a loss. But I need to find out about that. Winning trades I haven't bothered with. Losing, that's where I use filter. You'll have to let me know about that one, John. Anyway, losing time out, 10 minutes. I think that's okay. I mean, I think if you lose a trade, the chance of you losing your next one straight after is a bit higher than normal. So I don't think that's a bad thing, just to give yourself 10 minutes of breathing space. Maybe a cup of tea, stretch your legs. Now, a lot of these I don't really have issue with, but obviously when I was trading the other day, I was trading angry. And when I hit a $500 loss, it would have kicked me out for the day and I'd have still had my full 20 accounts. So this is like a backup. Winning trade timeout, I don't bother with that. Weekly loss, no. So lock settings, lock settings. This is where you can sort of lock it. So I know some of you have already got this. I know, John, you got it, and I think Speedy, you got it as well. I think this is useful as well. So I may lock it from, say, so I can only go in to change it after between 10 and 11 at night where the markets are closed. Or I could do it maybe an hour in the morning or something like that when the market is dead. So I think that's useful. ATF rules are like that as well. Don't allow dollar cost averaging. Now you can enter, you can enter a winning trade as many times as you like, but you can only enter a losing trade once. I don't tend to do that, but sometimes if you're revenge trading, you do. And if you end up revenge trading, or something goes wrong just for a second, you may enter twice. So if you manage to recover from that and get to payment level, it may refuse you. So I think that's a good idea. Go back to losing trades, and check the filters. Where's filters? Amount of money to filter losing trades. Ah, I see. So I can say $50, can I? Is $50 about right? That's 2 ticks, isn't it? Because sometimes if you get out for break even, you get a bit of slippage. Yeah, if I put $50 in that, is that right? So the trouble is, if I get out minus a couple, let's say I get out minus 1 tick, and let me think, if I get out minus 1 tick and I get a little bit of slippage and turns it into 2 ticks, filter trades you don't want to count. Okay, so I don't want to count as a losing trade if I lose $50. So would that be okay to put there? Because if I go for, say, minus a tick, if I put $25 there and I get out for minus a tick and I get a little bit of slippage, it may count that as a loss. So that is the money that I don't want it to affect it. So if I put $50 in there, if I get out for minus 2 ticks, it won't consider that a loss. Is that right? Something failed, second entry short, that one there. I looked at it. My only slight concern there, it's a little bit far from there. And we're coming up to this area. Yes, okay. So if I get out for minus a tick, which is a $25 loss, and I get a little bit of slippage, if I only put $25 in, then they'll stop me trading. So that allows me to get out for a tick loss and have a tick of slippage as well. So if I put that there, so okay, amount of money on a filter, brilliant. So if I have a $50 loss, it won't consider it as a loss. Because usually $50 means you've got out. Okay, I've got it down as consecutive losses as well. I may change that eventually. Okay, that's fine. It is a little bit of playing around with it for a couple of days, and then once I've done that, then I will lock it. You forgot to toggle enable losing trades at the top. I have, haven't I? Enable losing trades. Yeah, because what I don't want to do is get out minus a tick and then get out for a break even, and I get a bit of slippage and it stops me trading. Okay, yeah, brilliant. Enable losses. So 2 losses. Now, all of this is great, but if you now I don't consider myself a revenge trader anymore. Having said that, I did blow half of my accounts, but that's the first time I've done anything like that for 4 months. So sometimes things can catch you out. So it's definitely worth locking your settings. And just having a time where you can change your settings. So I'll have to figure out what the best time is to go and change my settings. Now, I don't want to lock the settings from midnight to midnight, Monday to Friday, because if I've made a mistake, I won't, and it's Monday, I won't be able to make a change to Saturday or Sunday. Yes, bud, it's definitely worth it. because, we're only human and sometimes things can go wrong. You could, as I say, I was in a really bad mood the other day. Now, I'm generally a placid guy. Not many things bother me, but a sort of a member of, well, I won't say who, but sort of a family friend had a bit of go at a couple of members of my family, and it made me a bit angry. And I could not shake it. It was really, sometimes these things just bug you. And it just made me really angry, and it played on my mind. And I traded the market in a bad mood. Now, I was on a phone call and I saw a trade. Well, I saw a second entry long which worked, but I waited for the higher low. But the higher low was way too far from the EMA. It went up 2 ticks, and part of me thought, just get out, and I didn't. And I lost 375, and I was angry about it, so I just snapped and doubled up just to try and get it back. I thought, if I can get 2 points back, and it went against me again, and then I was like $900 down, and that was it. I was really angry. So, sometimes our emotions do affect us. So that is the point of having this. Just for on the off chance something goes wrong, you've got some protection then. Okay, so we got a nice tight channel. Nothing I can really take here. I wish that EMA had come down a bit. Some of these bars are a little bit large. So, did I get there? That was 1 3/4 points. So, second entry long plus 1.75 points. Last 1 month, no PAs, lost thanks to GAT. Good for you, mate. Good on you. It's nice to hear that. It's nice to have a tool like this because this could... Mind you, the only downside to it is if everybody gets it, no one's going to be blowing accounts, and Apex are going to end up going bankrupt because they make a lot of money off losing trades. But, there you go. There you go. So, yeah, it's definitely worth it as a backup, that's for sure. So I might put something on my screen, actually. My screen. Now, there's no fillets or anything like this, but I think it'd be nice to be able to let people know there is something out there. So I'm probably going to put something on my chart, maybe up here or down the bottom somewhere, and just put I'm using GAT. Any questions, ask. Because it'd be nice to be able to let people know. Because if it wasn't for Nutty mentioning it, I would never have known anything about it. So, just incidentally, while I remember, this 80% off finishes on Wednesday, I think. Let me have a look. On Wednesday, last day on Wednesday. I don't know, it'd be interesting to see what they do. It'd be nice to see if, well, they extended it last time, didn't they? I have a feeling that we may not get a 90% again, because last time we did, we had loads of problems with Rhythmic. Well, I think they should do the 90%, but maybe not on the bigger charts, because the trouble is with the bigger accounts, there's a lot more profit you got to make, so people tend to trade the news then, and that seemed to be the catalyst. Why there was a lot of problems with Rhythmic. Touch wood. We've had no real issues with Rhythmic. So hopefully it stays that way. Yeah, but it's nice to know we've got some sort of protection, because I did think that I wouldn't revenge trade again. Now, having said that, although I lost those accounts, there was no urge in the slightest to touch my other 10. Are you still using your messenger? You mean on Facebook, bud? Yes, mate, yeah. Is that what you mean? Facebook. Yep, you can message me anytime you like, mate. If you look at on my Facebook, on the Mac's Facebook page. You'll see me on there. Yeah, just fire me a message. Well, have you sent me something? Have you? Let me have a look. Yeah. No, I am. Yeah. Yes, mate. Yeah. I looked at this here, this higher low, but to be honest with you, that is a little bit too far from that EMA. We're right at the top, so there's nothing left, so I'm staying out of this. Did anybody watch any of that Bitcoin convention the other night, did they? Well, it was night for me, with Trump speaking. If you're a crypto fan, he's the guy you want running your country. So he is definitely going to be good for crypto. Whether he's good for anything else, obviously that's down to you guys. But if you're a crypto guy, okay, excuse me just a second. I've just got to knock on my door. Be 1 minute. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so we've had a break. So yeah, risky as hell that was, to be honest with you, and that one, because it's congested. So it triggered both of those and come back and stopped you out. So, so let's see where we're going to go here. Oh. So it's hard to know what's going on at the moment. It is kind of going sideways, but we're getting different tops. So I'd like to see this at least make an attempt to get higher. I messaged you before, but you didn't reply. Was it today? I've got nothing on here, mate. Let me have a look. I've got nothing on here, mate. No, I've got nothing on here. These are my recent ones. No. No, send me it again, bud. Let me have a look. That was a while back. I also messaged you today, too. No, I've had nothing. Let me just check again. Chats. Oh, I've had nothing, mate. It's unusual. I had a message from someone, or I answered a message from someone at 11:30 today, but I've had nothing. Have a look. Strange. Try it again. Strange. Ah, okay. Found something, except. Okay, I didn't see. It was in under chats or something. So you sent me it today. Hi, Lance. Do even you use Messenger? I did send you a message here, but you didn't reply, so I was wondering which platform. Yeah, try it now, mate. Should be able to message me now. Chats. Ah, okay. There you are. Right at the top now. Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why it didn't come on there. Got you. Yeah, I don't know. What is this? I'll go to, sorry, I've just had this pop up. What's this now for 11, 2 minutes ago? Failed to get latest client release. There was an error. Anybody know what that means? Strange. Not sure what that means. Failed to get latest client. So that happened about 20 minutes ago, and a few minutes ago. I didn't see anything pop up or anything, but I like the way if there is something, it does. If you select log in there, normally I have mine to there, but if you select log, it does give you messages. So if something is not working right, or something does, or I think it's if Guardian Angel does some sort of action, it notifies you. So that's kind of good. So we're coming down by the looks of things here. For some reason, it's not pinging me either. I'll switch my volume up. Don't know. Where are you from, bud, anyway? Where are you from, Sean? You US? Most of you guys are US, aren't you? Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, Thomas Way's just put that on there, so he's got the same as me at the moment, the wider channel, so that's good. The hardest thing about this is we're different top there, different top there. I consider that as one leg and a second. Same again. Every time we're getting up, we're getting somewhere a bit different. In fact, we have got something there. So there's a little bit of something. Let's see where the bottom lies. Just trying to find something that we can call a bottom. That's not too bad, actually. There's a touch there. In fact, there's also a bounce there. So we've got a touch, a touch, a touch. Okay, so that, I'm going to put that up there and bring this down. So I would say at the moment, we got somewhere on the lines of that. So at least we've got something. I don't need that anyway. So this is our sort of overnight lows, and then literally we just opened and just continued on up and up and up and up and up. So channel down with a break. Now the only trouble is going short here can be a bit scary because you don't know whether we're going to bounce from there and push up or come down. So big bearish bar there, so we're looking for a lower high really. So little channel there. Let's see what happens. Trouble is, we bounced off there. We may bounce off there. It's hard to say. So I'm not automatically taking this trade. There is a little bit of congestion there. Now you consider that as a lower high, trapping that longs. But if you look on that chart, there's 4 bars back to back. Well, there is there as well. So it's just too risky. Is it going to come down? Is it a break? Quite possibly. But the fact that it's congested, it's not too bad here, but it's congested on these other 2 charts. So really, I've got to leave this one alone. We didn't quite get down to where I'm considering the bottom, so it may do, but it could trap some traders before it does do something. So what I will say is, looking at this chart, there's going to be maybe some shorts in there and quite possibly some longs. That lower high hasn't triggered. It's definitely stacking up now. So 1, 2, 3 could be a triple test there. Trouble is, I wouldn't consider that 3 attempts to go higher because it's congested. So I'm not going to take that. I've got into those before and got stung. So I like to see some pushes up. Now, although we got these bits of stems, it's still sideways. So we could, it could be like a little bull flag. So we could go up a little bit sideways and up again. So I'm just staying out of this at the moment. So it may work, but I'm staying out. That has triggered, but it could push up and stop you out. I've taken trades like this before, think, yeah, we go triple test, perfect, jumped in, it's pushed up and stopped me out. Because it's not really 3 attempts to go higher, it's going sideways. So there you go, as soon as you take that, it pushes straight up, and that'll take out that for sure, possibly even that, yes, maybe even there. So we haven't really had 3 attempts to push higher. The wicks have gone up a bit, but that's nothing. All we've really done is gone sideways, so that is protected. Often we see that often that first initial one will stay safe. I'm not saying it will, but this, you can clearly see this on this chart. It's really congested. So I'm staying out of this. I've got caught out in trades like this before. So there'll be some longs possibly there. Possibly there. So there will be some stops around there. But that's closed, sat on that EMA, so I'm staying out of this. Could upset a few people, this. So I do feel much better now I've got this Guardian Angel trader. That's exactly what it is. It's like having a little Guardian Angel, isn't it? Okay, so if you'd have taken any of those bearish bars, you'd eventually got stopped out. That one triggered, and that one triggered. That's what I mean. It kind of looks like a little bull flag, doesn't it? Push up sideways and up another leg. So we may have a leg, and it may come down from here, because you could. That is like a failure out of that, isn't it? But we don't really know where the bottom is. I like to think it's here, which means we may come down a bit, but this thing is bouncing at different places. So if people are considering that in the bottom, now that's interesting. Thought it was going to be a leg and a leg. Not a massive fan of the bar, really. I wouldn't have gone for that here. It may work, but the trouble is you don't know where the bottom is there. If this had been further up there, then you may have had an option to go short there, but it may well come down and take out some of this liquidity. But it's also like a breakout pullback, isn't it? So there's probably going to be some shorts in there for sure. So that is a higher low. But it's also a big ass bar, so I'm just staying out of it. Oh, yeah, it's too late now anyway. I'm in the things 20 ticks nearly. It certainly will be with a tick above and tick below. So nothing you can do there, unfortunately. And not only that, you're right at the top of that channel there, so there's just nothing you can do with that. I thought we might get a little break out the range here. I tend to leave those and wait for the lower high below that AMA, trapping out these longs. But the trouble is, we're getting different bounces every time we come down. So I think this has gone a bit too far now to come back down. Having said that, there is a measured leg there. So, yeah, for me, this has gone a bit too far to come down. It may do, but when that started turning, I thought it may do, but no. So it's a shame that bar wasn't as big as it was, because I don't think after we're running along that line, any shorts here, and maybe traps and shorts there and traps and shorts there, which triggered. If that would have been closed a little bit lower, I may have had a go at that. Yeah, we're clearly ranging today, no argument there. Maybe it is going to come down. ATR's large as well. It's not far off 3. Risks a bit more at the moment. Yeah, it's popped up again, that as I keep getting that come up. I don't quite know why. Anybody know what that is? Failed to get latest client release. There was an error. Do you have any clue what that means? I might screenshot it just so I've got it in case I have any issues. I've saved it anyway. So this is it's clearly ranging. The only problem is every time we're getting different tops constantly. We had a bottom there, a couple of bottoms here. Well, what looked like a bottom there. We've had a measured leg up. So whether this is going to come down and touch this again, it's quite hard. Obviously range, it's nice to just come from the top to the bottom, but this is not necessarily doing that. And when it is, we're hitting different levels, which make it a lot harder to trade from. In fact, what we could do with is a Facebook group for Guardian Angel traders. I don't think that's a bad idea. So the trouble is, when you get to use it, there's probably loads of bits we don't know, and sometimes if you get messages, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to get a Facebook group together. I did have a look to see if there is one. I can't see anything anywhere, so that might be an idea. I might do that, actually. I don't think anybody is. I'm pretty sure we get a few users just to chat and help each other a little bit, especially the newer guys like me. Channel break, 2 pushes down to a new low. Took the fail of that one there. Yeah, it does look like we're trying to make it. What I will say is we got this channel down there with 2 legs, so after we push through, I think there's a fair chance that we're going to make a bottom there or retest those bottoms. So, yeah, it is a bit more aggressive, but I think there's a good chance this is, well, yeah, there we go. So I think there's a good chance we've got a leg and a leg down. So that, I think that's the thing with trading. It might be risky as a Pat's point of view because we've already broke sort of down. But if you so ordinarily you want to go for the lows, and it kind of is really. It's a bit more aggressive, but you know, when you get a bit of experience, it is about using your brain, isn't it? And just thinking, okay, we've had a channel down there, we've had 2 clear legs. This is pushed strong through the EMA. Come back and retested it. Once, come back, retested it twice. There's a fair chance that that's going to get down to the bottom. You would certainly get them way right than you would get them wrong, put it that way. So you probably expect that to work maybe 70% of the time, maybe even a bit more, maybe just as a guess. So, which is still worth trading. You know, if you're trading the numbers and you're playing the numbers game, then there's no reason why you can't take them all day long. Yeah, well, that's an option as well. Yeah, you could just flick down to one. That is another option. If you're taking something a bit risky, you can. You know, I've got these here. I can just flick down to one contract if I want. So that makes sense. If it is a little bit more risky, mind you, if you watch Mac, every single risky. I mean, he calls them more aggressive trades, but 100% of them they already win. So. That can be a little bit misleading if you're relatively new. He's obviously putting them as more aggressive, but they actually right every time. So you'd think really if you believe what Max said, you kind of take every aggressive trade. But yeah, we know what he's saying, don't we? Anyway, don't we? I would love him once, just to, maybe he'll do it when he gets close to retiring. Maybe just trade for a couple of hours and maybe not take trades, but just maybe talk about the chart, see him mark it up in real time. Just get him to do what I do and just chat about what I'm seeing and what I would do. It'd be nice, that one. You should. I should what, bud? What should I do? You got about talk to Mac. Get him to. It'd be nice for him to do that just once. I mean, he's on about retiring soon, isn't he? But it would be nice to just. I think a lot of people would want to see that. Watch him trade. I'd rather sit in a good trade with proper context room than get out of small. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's the thing about trading. There's so much grey area, isn't there? Some people now. I watch. What's his name? Who I consider a really talented trader. Bart. I watch Bart. Now Bart plays the numbers. If he sees a trade, he takes it. There's no black and white. If he sees it, he takes it. He may take something like that. He may see it as it's coming down anyway. And he takes quite a few trades. But he plays the numbers and he takes slightly more aggressive trades. But it works for him because he's got good psychology. And I think if you take emotions, if you could switch the emotions button off, I think you could take anything that resembles a reasonable setup, because you would make more money. But obviously when you are taking trades a little bit more aggressive, if they go wrong and you struggle with losses, you'd be better off staying out of it. But if you can... Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Wife and daughter arguing. Yeah, it's a nightmare living with two women. No disrespect to the women out there, but I've got two of them on my tail constantly. My daughter is an absolute nightmare at getting ready. She's got a dentist appointment in about 6 minutes and they're not even in the car yet. Oh, dear. My problem is bigger moves. I move my stop loss up to break even too early. Yeah, I've done that myself. Watson does that a lot, doesn't he? Wilson does that a lot. I think the trouble is if you go for a trade, so you've got your risk and you've got your profit. So your risk will always be your risk, really. So no, I probably haven't explained that right. Okay, so yeah, I mean, a lot of times the market will come back and it comes back and kind of spooks you, doesn't it? And you might get out for break even. But I would say more often than not, well, I would say 100% of the time you would make more money if you just left things as they were. Like Mac says, don't monkey with your trades. But, you know, it's easy for Mac. He's been doing it for, 28 years. He's got 100% belief in his skills and he's been making money for years. Most of us haven't. So you still have those doubts. And if you can go through a year making solid, steady money every month, then you're more likely take your trade and just leave it. That is definitely the best way to do. But obviously, emotions are still a factor for us. Even though they may not affect us as much, they're still a factor. And that's the problem, really. They still play a part. Two of my trades today have gone 8. Yeah, I know. Do you know what? I think I looked, mate. I did maybe 7 or 8 months ago, and I think about 80% of my winning trades went for a minimum of 6 points. So theoretically, you could get 3 times your profit. It probably work. Now, I wouldn't suggest doing that in a small range like this, but when we're getting moves like this, if a couple of legs up and then down for a second move. But yeah, definitely. So, I mean, that chart, that one there I took there eventually went up for more than that, didn't it? If I took it there, it pulled back a little bit, but it went up for 8.5 points. So, but yeah. So, which is why I still don't understand why some people trade just for a point. I think really the starting point is 6 ticks, I think. Super strong trend day staying. Yeah, I agree with that. If you can get into a nice setup right back at the EMA, a strong position in an uptrend, definitely worth holding. That is, I would sort of maybe go for 3 times my normal profit, or maybe even just follow up each individual bar. And then once you get so far, then you maybe turn it into each individual swing. Okay, excuse me just for a second. Let's ditch that for now. So I wonder whether there is something larger going on here. No. You take a short near the high of a day after 2 legs to a new high in clear range. Don't scalp for 2 points. Yeah. I like to think that as my trading develops over the coming years, once I can build the trouble is at the moment, so me and like a lot of you guys out there, we're trading at the moment with a $2,600 drawdown, and you haven't got a massive amount of room for maneuver. But once you can get a bit of a cushion, let's say I had $10,000 in my account, I could happily take a short here. I don't have to worry about drawdown, and then maybe wait for a swing and put it there, then put it there, then put it there, and try and capture a point. But you've got to have a nice safe cushion, really, to be able to take the risk, because it is a little bit of a risk. But if we're talking risk to reward, you can get really solid reward out for it given the right circumstances. So, you know, like I say, if we have 2 beautiful legs up, clearly bouncing off here and then a lower high, and, you know, 9 times out of 10 it's getting down here, then it's definitely worth holding on. If you can get a strong enough position, it's definitely worth holding on. But you've got to be able to sort of do it comfortably, and I think it's much better, you know, when you've got a bit of a cushion, or obviously on an evaluation. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Absolutely. I was looking at some of my old trades, actually. I took a short up here, and it came down a bit. It was a strong position. It went sideways for a bit and then just dropped. And I managed to get about 11.5 points out of it down to here. Well, that's the equivalent of nearly 6 winning trades profit. So if you can do that once a week, I mean, you can make a massive difference in your sort of P&L. But it is having that confidence, just, you know, just to leave it. And I think a lot of that will come once you get a nice cushion in your account. But because trading's so difficult, it takes quite a bit of time till you really start to believe you can do it. You know, I think sometimes when we take these silly risks, it's because we think we need a little bit of a lucky boost and a head start to be able to build an account. So there is a possibility we may be looping down here. Now, we're clearly going sideways. We have had a little breakout there and it has failed. So, be interesting to see where this thing goes. I am going to put a little line there, because what I don't want to do is take a second entry long into that. Not that it may push through it, but I think you have to pay attention to that. Now we got a channel here with a break. Now we had the same there, channel with a break, and I took a second entry long. I like the fact that we had shorts trapped there and we kind of bounced off support, so that's part of the reason. But second entry long here may work, but you have to be aware that there may be something larger in the pipeline there. It's not the 2K chart over 10 years. Yeah. Does anybody know what that means? It keeps popping up every sort of, I don't know, 10 minutes or so, 10 or 15 minutes. Fail to get, hold on, if I hover over it. Fail to get latest client release. Version something. I have took a screenshot. I may have to email or something to find out what that is. Maybe nothing, but if it is something, I'd rather sort of get it sorted out. Okay, so there's no real setup there anyway, in all fairness. It's an indicator making this error. Oh, is it? Is it an indicator? I don't know, mate, to be honest with you. I mean, it doesn't seem to stop anything, but the trouble is, it does concern me that the more different bits of software you get, I mean, you know, I've got all the various indicators I've got with NinjaTrader. Then I've got Replicanto, which is managing it as well. Now I've got this thing. So it does make you wonder. It's kind of like taking medication, is it? It's okay taking all these individual medications, but when you start mixing them, you kind of don't know what you're going to get. Since it was NinjaScript, yeah. It does bring up NinjaScript. Let me have a look. Oh, it's AlgoTick. Ah, okay. That's... Why didn't I read that properly? AlgoTick. Failed to get the latest... Right, okay. I think I know what that is. Maybe there's an update. AlgoTick is... I haven't got it anyway at the moment. I think it's in there, isn't it? Won't that let me do anything? So what did I do? Okay, so strange. Tick. It won't let me select these. That's unusual. Karina, good morning to you. It's an indicator. Sometimes you have to uninstall everything. Okay. Okay. I can't use it anyway. I'm just trying to think. Is it this that shows me the highs and the lows of the day? Tick. I can't remember what it is now. Yeah, I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look into it. I'm pretty sure it's under that Gemini thing. Oh, it is letting me do something. Oh, that's Orderline Decorator. It's not TickTick. No, I can't remember what it is. Yeah, I'll sort it out later. Okay, let's get remove that in a minute. So break new high. Let me just put that back. Maybe there is something larger. So let's have a look. So we had this touch here. We've tried once, twice, and a third time. So I'm wondering whether we're going to come down to this area. I'm just going to put that on my chart because that is an area of interest. We bounced a few times in, got very close to it there and bounced there. So this just may be a slightly bigger range here. So I'm just going to leave that there as just an area of interest. So there may be something larger. Or unless it's just coming down to the bottoms here. It's hard to say. I have put a line down there because there is... We bounced a bunch of times here and rocketed up. And we came down close to it. We didn't get closer. We actually bounced there and then pushed up strong. So we may get down here. So this is just something to be aware of. A warm day in the UK today, thank God. We've had some awful weather. It's been cold lately. We're about 27, 28 degrees centigrade where I am, and it's beautiful out there today, so we thought we were going to miss summer completely. Sorry about the howling in the background, if you can hear howling. My wife and daughter just got out, and my dogs are howling a bit in the background. Okay, I'll tell you what, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. I'm getting very dry in the mouth here. So, sideways, whether we are finding a new level down here, it's perfectly fine. We've only really hit that sort of twice. So that may turn into sort of more of a bottom. Let's leave that there for now, something like that maybe. We'll see how that fares anyway. Okay, so I will be around about 3 to 5 minutes. Just put my break thing on there. So, quick cup of tea, 3 to 5 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay. Right, what have I missed? Nothing really. So they're kind of like triple test there, but I've got no setups. In fact, 1, 2, 3. That didn't look that bad actually. That worked. So 1, 2, 3 triple test. But I got nothing here and nothing on that chart. That's the beauty of having that. But that would have worked. 1, 2, 3. I kind of like that. That's where I initially had it, and it came back and tested the underside of it, and then pushed up and did it again. 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, someone's literally just posted that. So they took that. Try to take no fill. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, no setup on here. But on this chart here, really nice setup. It's kind of like a visual second entry short anyway, but 1, 2, 3. I like the fact that we trapped some there. Channel down with a break. 1, 2 pushes, 2 in a low. Trap some longs there for short and push down. So that's a shame. I wasn't here for that. What was the risk there? So tick above, tick below, 2 points. That was a pretty small bar actually, to be honest with you. At ATR's 2.5. So that was a relatively small bar there, 2.75 point risk. So I'd have had some of that if I'd have been here, unfortunately. Nature calls. So it does seem like there is a channel down. Okay. So I'm trading these 10 accounts now instead of the 20. Obviously, I lost the 10 of them. In a strange way, I actually feel slightly more relaxed. The difference is, if I've got 20 accounts, it's kind of actually useless, really, if I'm only trading half of them at once. The whole idea of having 20 accounts is so you can trade 20 and make technically 20 times the amount. And I split them down into half, so I'm only really trading 10 at any one time, which this is what I'm doing now. So I'm tempted just to stay at the 10, in all honesty, because unless I'm going to trade all 20, there's no point in getting another 10. Got two points on Friday, 1.75 points today. So in 2 days, $3,700. So I'm kind of thinking I might just stay. I was tempted to add to them, and I may do at a later stage, but for the moment I'm quite happy with the 10. I certainly don't think I'm going to add, well, I'll definitely say I'm not going to add any more until I can make a withdrawal. So I think the plan is to get these accounts to $3,000. And then I may take $1,000 from each of them. Wilson got to $2,600 and took $750, which put then his total down to $1,850. If I get to $3 and take $1,000, that'll put my total down to $2,000. So I'll still have a little bit more than he did after his payment, which will give me a payment of $10,000. And I've only really got a difference in $115. Let me have a look. 185, 200. Yeah, there's only a difference in $215 between my highest account and my lowest. So the plan is to get to 3,000 and take 1,000. That'll leave me 2 left, and then I've got a month to try and get to 3,000 again. Anything above 3,000 after a month, I'll just continue to let the account grow. So all I really need is to get 250 a week. So if I can get the clear two trades per week, clear trade, winning trades, that's $400. That's $1,700 a month. If I could take 1,000 out and leave the other 600 or 700, and that's only getting the equivalent of 2 clear winning trades over the space of a week. So if I got another 2 trades this week, I've more than, what's that, 2 and 2, that would more than comfortably get me to double that. So anyway. So I'm staying out of anything here because if this is a channel, we're only halfway. We're not coming to the side, so we're losing momentum. So we could get a break, so we could get a leg and a leg. So I'm not sure, really. I'm just staying out of this at the moment. Yeah, see, this is me. I keep looking at this thinking, why have I not noticed it before? That's because I only have my account select, so I never see it. The only reason I've got it onto log is so I can see the information that Guardian Angel Trader may give me. So it's irrelevant, that, really, now, to be honest with this. I don't need to pay attention to it. I've probably been getting that for months and haven't realised, but so yeah, shame about that, actually. Looked lovely on there, and it was testing the underside as well, so that one I would have definitely taken, and that would have worked beautifully. See, that setup there would have made comfortably well. We're down here now. Would have made 8 points, but at that first swing, you'd have clearly got over 7 points. You'd have clearly got 7 points there, and that other trade I took as well. Clearly, well, 8 points, 8.5 points there. If you'd have said 8, depending on where you got in. So it is surprising the percentage of winning trades that go for 6 points, which is the equivalent of 3 winning trades. So if you could take one of those per week, that would give you over $2,000 a month on an account, just one of them. So if you can get a leg, a nice leg with a lovely pullback, and you think you're going to get that other leg, I mean, if you were in a tight range like this, trading from top to bottom with 6 points, obviously you couldn't do it, but it's interesting that. One trade, 6 points, that's $600. You do that once a week, that's over $2,000 a month. Can't do anything around here, really. I mean, big bearish bar, trapping the longs, but the trouble is it could come right the way down. It could tick it and push up. Nothing there. It's not a failure. There's the failure. There is someone who took that trade there. Would I have taken that one? No. It's an inside bar, really. And it is a little bit congested. We could get a leg up and another leg up there. So for me, that's not something that would interest me. We could get a leg up there and another leg up. But somebody took it. In fact, no, they didn't. They took it right down here. I don't quite understand in this little bit. Why would you go long down, short down there? That's unusual. I mean, it worked, but it's a bit irrelevant, really. I don't understand why you would want to short there. Well, having said that, I'm assuming everyone's a Pats trader. So it does look like we're heading for this level. So to me, this looks like a leg and a leg, a leg and a leg. That's interesting. So yeah, so let's call that there. So we got a leg and a leg. Which we're nearly there. Can I would you put that there, maybe? Yeah, so we've got a leg and a leg. A leg and a leg. Let's see where that one falls. So leg and a leg, leg and a leg. It's funny how we've bounced there. So leg and a leg. See where it goes from there. Whether we move towards back up again. Hard to say. Shame about that one. I was taking a damn break. Lovely triple test, that one. Really nice. Trapping some longs as well. I like that. Taking out them little bits of stops there. Trapping the longs. After we've had this channel down, 2 attempts to go lower, there are going to be traders going along there. Pushed up, triggered them, stopped them out. Maybe some stops there, and that came down lovely. 2 nice legs down and a retest. That looks like it's bottoming out to me, this does. So that's it, that possible measured leg. There is 2 attempts to go higher there, but this to me looks like we're finding a bit of a bottom. Touch, touch, touch. Let me have a look. Let's trap some shorts there, I wonder. I might have this completely wrong, but there is kind of like 2 legs up there, a second entry short. For me, that's risky because of this. It may work, but I have a feeling that may get trapped. So I'm just staying out of this. It may work. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here at the moment. I just don't like the way we're getting a lot of support down there, right at the bottom of this channel. How far did it come down? So you'd have got a point it would have had to push through. There is a possible lower high here. I just don't like all this. To be honest with you, by the time that finishes, it's going to be pointless taking it, I think. I mean, it may continue on down. It really could do, but I just don't like this. This kind of looks like we've had a push, a retest, sort of push, a new low, a retest, and a rejection. So for me, a short here I think is a bit risky. Personally, I could be completely wrong, but that's my thinking. And I'm just staying out of it, I am. That's not what you want to see. So that one didn't trigger anyway. That one you'd have got a point because it would have had to push through, but it's just risky as hell to me. Let's see if it gets stopped out. It's bound to. Yeah. So it is kind of 2 legs up. It's a visual second entry. By the count, it's not necessarily, but it is 2 clear legs up. So the setup's okay. It's just the context is all wrong. We're right at the bottom of this channel. It is bottoming. We did something similar there and it reversed. So There may have been some short stuck there. Not the best looking short, but that one was better. But you'd have got a point just, and then it turned. So 1, 2, 3. This could be a triple test. But the trouble is, because of this, I'm just staying out of it. We are close to this bottom, so it could do like this, push further up. We had something similar, didn't we? We had a little bit of sideways there and a bearish bar, and it triggered and pushed up, and we got exactly the same there. Looks like it's bottoming, a push up, a bearish bar, which is triggered. So I think there's a good chance that's going to get stopped out, as did that one. But similar sort of pattern, a little bit more harder to read here. You can see that, but going short there really into this, especially at the lower part of the channel, is just too risky in my opinion. It may hold, but I wouldn't want to be in it. Sometimes just because of the fact it's bearish, it may work, but the fact that it's triggered it by one tick and started working up would just set alarm bells for me. But the trouble is, sometimes we don't take these trades because you think we've had a big push down and we're at the low, and then you come back half an hour later and we're down here. So it's just one of those, isn't it? But you have to make a judgment on what you see. Although what I will say, there is kind of two legs up, and we, you know, it is at the top of this, but. Well, Taylor took it. Good on you, mate. Where's his stop? Taylor's stop. Sorry, his profit is down here. He got into it there. I just don't like this because there is some support down there. So, and that is not what you want to see. It may just spook traders. But here's this is his trade here. So he's got his profit right at the bottom there. Right down here somewhere, and it didn't hit that, so let's see what happens. It actually, if I just blow this up and forget about this and the channel, it actually doesn't look that bad. It's a second entry short and it's two clear legs up. But the bit that's making me a bit spooked is we are finding a bottom down here, and we are right down the bottom of this range, and we had something very similar here, and it went up. So, as I say, we could end up down here somewhere, but I just don't like this really. But it is two legs up, and it is a second entry. So the setup's okay. It's just the context for me is just a little bit unsure. I can't see anybody else taking it. Thomas Wade ain't taking it. I mean, we're clearly in a downtrend, aren't we? But we are right at the bottom. We did have a measured leg which played out there. Leg and a leg which played out perfectly. So this thing could push up to here. Let's see. It could also trap this bull bar and come down, but I'm staying out of this at the moment. It's just, that's not what you want to see. It comes down so far and does that. Yeah, it's almost going to take that out, I think. 1, 2, 3, maybe a triple test. My slight concern is this. So he's going to get stopped out, I think. Let's see if it holds. It's trying to stop it out. There's almost definitely going to be shorts there, isn't there? Yeah, there you go. So what would he have got off that if he'd have got out? He didn't, unfortunately. He's still got his stop down here. Where did he get in? There. So the frustrating thing is if you'd have took it a tick below there, which is about there, you wouldn't have got 2 points because you've got to push through, but it's just too risky, I think. It is 2 legs, but the trouble is the context is telling me we're getting some support here and we are at the bottom. Look what happened the last time we got that support pushed up, which is doing the same. Let's see if there's a bearish bar there that traps some more shorts. So right to stay out of that. I'd have gone for 2 points there. It's just not worth it for me otherwise. What's the risk? So if you go a tick above there and a tick below, it's a 3¼ point risk. I'm not risking that for anything less than 2 points. It's just too risky. And it is sideways. And yeah, you'd probably expect that to work. And you'd have got a scalp out of it. You'd have got 6 ticks out of it, but you wouldn't have got 2 points. Taylor had his profit down here. So that went down. He'd have been in there. Then it turned. There's his break even. It did come down a bit, so we'd have probably thinking come down, but then it just turned and it's kind of too late then. So just the context there put me off. So I'm glad I left that because it didn't work like it would have supposed to have done really, should it have been up here. It went down so far and then turned. And we are at the bottom, see, so going short that close to the bottom for me. Having said that, if you do scalp a point, then you can take obviously a lot more trades. Okay, see if this bearish bar traps some shorts here. It's triggered here on that chart. Exactly the same as it did there. And a little bit of sideways here. So we had the same sort of thing. We had some sideways there. And a lot of times you trade that as a failed breakout. It's actually a second entry short, but because it's at the bottom, it pushed up, trapped some shorts, and then stopped them all out. And it's done the same there on that chart. You can see that bearish bar there. Couple of legs up, trapped some shorts, pushed up, stopped them all out. Yeah, Taylor just said, fooled me good. That's what I like about Taylor. He takes the trades, he takes a loss, he just moves on. Comes back just as chirpy. Yeah, going short into that for me is a risky. Yeah, the bigger picture is a leg and a leg, isn't it? And we're around about, yeah, we're bouncing right at this bigger leg. I do pay a lot of attention to Osam. He's really good at these bigger moves, Osam is. He's constantly sending me photos where he's in trades and doing really well on them. He seems to do really well. Constantly getting pictures where he's in 8, 10, 12, 15 points. But to me, we've got that 2 legs up, 2 legs back. So I think you have to pay attention to that. Let's see if we get a retest of this. Taylor's straight into another trade. He's taken it on this chart here, the same as that, more of a bearish bar there. And he's got his profit down here yet again, and that looks like it's going to hit his profit. I hope it does. Yeah, it has. Good on him. Good on him. What's that? 12, 14, 3. It's about 3.5 points he'd have made there. Good on him. Yeah, no setup here. There was there. And a lower high, actually. I was focusing more on this chart at the time. But we have had a reasonable push up now. Yeah, I do love how these are different. See, this lower high there was about 2 or 3 ticks from the EMA. The lower high there was about 2 points from the EMA. So I do like that there is a different variation. So the lower high would have worked for sure. And there, I like the fact that we've got a push up and there's a bullish. We come back to the EMA, push up with nice bullish bar, triggers, comes down. I'm more focusing on this chart at the time. So now we know we've got some support down here. Let's see if what happens here. See it there, see it there. 2 legs. So interesting. Broke below it, but didn't close below it. Came right down to the bottom of the channel, touched it and reversed. Thomas Wade's just adjusted this chart. So there. Much tighter. Okay, trap some shorts there. See if it pushes above there. Oh, interesting. Excuse me just a second. Interesting. Possibly a second entry short. I'm just sitting tight. I am. We have got some support down there. We've hit it there. We've hit it there and back there. So we've got a leg and a leg. So this thing now, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing rocketed up. Because there's kind of a bigger range going on there, isn't there? Yeah, 2 legs down. So I wouldn't be surprised if this thing worked up. Interesting. That's a trade I generally want to start taking. So if you buy it when that closes, 8-tick risk, 8-tick profit. Nice tight channel, bearish bar right at the bottom, right on its arse. Let's see if that would have worked. Two attempts to go lower. It's definitely going to push up and take that out, I think. So that would have worked. Whenever we get a tight channel like this and it pushes up, we get a really bearish bar right at the bottom of the channel. Often if you just buy there, it works. 8-tick risk, 8-tick profit, that would have worked. It's just something I'm noticing. Apparently, our Brooks has one very similar. I tend to pay not as much as I have done lately, but so clearly worked. Okay, pushed up right to the top. Let's have a look. So, push up, could be a small break there. Trouble is we have found some support there. So, interested to see how it reacts to that. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing took off north. Okay, so channel break, new high on this chart here. Let's see if we get a lower high there. Okay. I have a feeling this thing, mate, is meant to even come down. After these two legs, see, this thing may push up, pull back and continue on up. I wouldn't be surprised. Just a quick question, guys. Sean's just messaged me. Just want to check if anybody else sees this because I'm not aware of this. He's just messaged me. Do I ask? Sorry, do I subscribe to my own live data? I don't. I have done in the past, but I don't. And he said there are traders who use their own data to trade Apex and avoid Rhythmic. I thought if you were trading Apex, don't you have to use Rhythmic? Otherwise, I think I'd have heard more people say, "Why don't you just pay for your own?" Because I think it's if you're classed as not a profession, I'm pretty sure it's only a few dollars a month. And kind of why wouldn't you? Do you know what I mean? So I'll have to look into that because it's definitely something worth looking at. Yeah, this is just a big this looks like a big range to me. Michael, how you doing, my friend? I use two data feeds, Rhythmic for Apex, but my account is primarily in settings. Yeah, see, my impressions were if you use your own account, you could obviously need your own data, don't you? Because I think Rhythmic is simulated. Apparently, it can be done. Apparently, Sean was saying so. I'm surprised I haven't heard about it because the amount of hassle it gives people for the sake of paying a few dollars a month. I am going to look into it because I've got no issue. I'll pay $50 a month if it means I don't get any. I don't have to worry about Rhythmic issues. But I thought you had to have Rhythmic open because it connected NinjaTrader with Apex. But Sean's just sent me a bit of info here just to support for Apex. So I'm going to look into that later. And if I do have anything, if I do get anything, I'll come back. Interesting. Yeah, I know this is a channel down, but I'll be surprised if this thing comes down anymore. Well, I certainly think we'll have a break of it in a bigger channel, but for me, this just looks like a big... I read something about it, and we're looking at IQ feed, but I am confused too. Yeah. Why aren't Apex mentioning this, or is it against the trouble is... You'd think... I know Apex might think it's a bit cheeky to ask people to pay for their own data, but Christ almighty, I'd pay $10 a month or whatever. I think it's only a few dollars a month. I'd happily pay that a month if I meant I don't have to worry about it. If I didn't have to worry about Rhythmic. So that's something. Chris, how you doing, my friend? I don't think that's possible. I don't think so. I show my live count with CQG data and Apex from the same time. Yeah. It's still being done for rhythmic. I don't know. I don't know why. You think if you could do it, Apex would say, look, you know, I know we have these issues, but there is another option. I'm sure I would have heard of it before if there was, you know, it's kind of a small circle, us lot, isn't it? We tend to kind of know all each other's business, don't we? And if there was a way to do it, I thought, but John says he thinks there is, so I'm going to have a look into that later this evening. He sent me a website, just have a link. Yeah, you need rhythmic. Yeah, you do, don't you? Yeah, see, Rhythmic's the problem, isn't it? That's where your trades get logged through Rhythmic. Yeah, exactly. Rhythmic's tracking your trades. Otherwise, how would it know? How would Apex know how to liquidate your trades should you hit drawdown? So I will have a look later. But I'm pretty sure if it could be done, I'd have heard of it by now. You know what this business is like? Everybody knows everything, don't they? We all, you know, if somebody finds something out, every man and his dog jumps on it. So I believe we may come down and have a retest this, or at least try. But I don't think we will. That's a strong push off there as well. After these two legs down. What time is it? 2 hours and 25 minutes. I get my large trade tick through cash account. I get my large trade tick info through cash account. Interesting. Trade of 8, but you can't change account data. Yeah, I think if there was a way of doing it, I think we'd have known about it. Someone would have told us. That way I'm not getting simulated info. Yeah. I've got to say that is the one thing that, excuse me a sec. It's the one thing that kind of gives me sleepless nights, Rhythmic, because we know there are issues. What I will say, folks, is I had an email with an update from Replicanto. And you know this problem we have sometimes, that if we open a trade and we hit our profit, it closes in Rhythmic, but occasionally you'll see a position open in NinjaTrader, and what we don't do is click close because it opens an order. We just sort of disconnect NinjaTrader and then select it back, you know, then connect back up and it disappears. Well, apparently Replicanto are looking for a fix. Then I got the impression that Replicanto can sort that out. I don't know why, because they've sorted it out for Trade of 8 for some reason. I don't know. I've heard some pay Trade rate data, but don't know how. Yeah. I think it's something. I'll put my investigation department onto it, which means I'll have a look myself later. I think we'd have probably heard about it because, let's face it, who doesn't mind forking out a few dollars to get peace of mind? It's the one thing that tends to cause, you know, a lot of the stress, doesn't it, when you're in trade, especially when you're trading multiple accounts. And I'm pretty sure Apex, you'd have thought they'd have mentioned it, wouldn't you? Let's have a look. Do you know Charlie Baker? Yes, I do, mate. He's okay. Excuse me. Oh, it's okay. So I got a letter, a posting come, but it's coming through the door, so it's post. You know, Charlie Baker. Yeah, Charlie Baker. He's got a Facebook group, isn't he? Yeah, Sean was he just messaged me. Do you know Charlie Baker? Charlie Baker's got one of the Apex Facebook groups, and I have chatted to him just through chit chat on Facebook for one reason or other. He was the one that told me, because I said I was only trading half my account because I was concerned about Rhythmic, and he was the one that told me in 2 years he's been trading with Apex, or over 2 years. This was a few months back. He's never lost an account due to Apex. Due to a problem with Rhythmic. So that's interesting. Okay, so this thing is just taking off. I had my suspicions after these 2 legs back it was going to turn, and it turned exactly where it was supposed to. So I don't think that's going to come down and retest this. That thing's gone up like a rocket. So it's gone up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. It's up 30 odd points, so that ain't going to come back now. I'd expect a break of it, in which case we may get a trade, but I think this is likely where it's going to be heading, maybe the top of that. It'd be nice to get a break and retest this in a line here. How do they trade with that data? Prop firms, account, yeah. You can have a backup version of RTrader running on a laptop. Simulated loginator, which gives you a good network. Well, what I do, Chris, is I have it. I don't know about you, or if I think some of you do. I have Rhythmic on an app. So if for some reason something goes wrong, as soon as I log into Rhythmic, I don't know why it does it, but it disables, it disconnects NinjaTrader, and I can go in and flatten everything with a click of a button. I've got to select the cross, and then it'll ask me you're short, and I'll click yes. So 2 clicks and everything. And I've got that on my mobile phone right next to me, and I've played around with it quite a bit. So if anything does go wrong, so I have got a backup like that. But yeah, I kind of thought that, you know, if your internet goes down and you're in a trade, I mean, if you're in a trade and you've got everything set, it shouldn't be a problem. My concern is if I'm hovering here with a trade and the internet goes down, this thing may come down and select it. Now, the thing about the Rhythmic app is you can only close an account or a position when you're in a position. If you have an order here waiting or pending, you can't get rid of it. You have to make sure you get back into the close it down. But also, I am hardwired in my account. We have got super fast internet, but if it does go down, I can log in to the data using my phone and get back in and close any positions. So if I ever open a position, I'll always open it, 10, 20 points away from price. So that gives me a little bit of time. Someone who has never had an issue before, avoided high volatility. Yeah, absolutely. He trades in London. Yeah, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but these ghost trades, see, I have... Oh, Rhythmic's disappeared. How ironic is that? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Tell I. Now, I have Rhythmic here on my chart, as you can see. Now, I didn't used to. I never used to open Rhythmic, or I'd shut it down and it was in the background. Now, if I open a trade and say it hits its profit and it closes it in Rhythmic and it's still showing here, which it does, a lot of traders may click close and it will close, but what it does then is it opens an order in Rhythmic, and if you haven't got Rhythmic, your positions on your chart that you can see it, a trade can open. And if a trade opens that you're unaware of, that's when that account could potentially, if it goes against you, could potentially gets blown and you don't even know anything about it. And, you hear of people, I'll come back to the chart later, I didn't do this, and blah, blah, blah. But that's what I'm aware when they call these ghost trades, that you close down something here and you think you've done something genuinely, and then it reopens a trade here. So if you ever do get... Apparently, it's important what Rhythmic does, not NinjaTrader. So if all these accounts close, that's fine. But if you do have a position, don't click close, because it'll open up a position in there. Just disconnect NinjaTrader and reconnect back up, and it will have disappeared. So it's a bit of a pain in the arse, really. And if you don't know what you're doing and you've never experienced it, it's very easy to not have you know, your rhythmic, anything to do with your rhythmic positions on your chart, and all of a sudden you think you're doing right by closing it, and it opens up a position and that you're unaware of, and that's when, you know, you can get yourself into a spot of bother. Are you still thinking of funding? I was, mate, and I kind of, well, what I wanted to do is just get a few payouts first, just to get my confidence level up. But I have got some money that I could. I have sort of considered putting £5,000 of my own money in there, but I think what I'm going to do is just get a couple of 3 payments first, just to get my confidence level up, and then, yeah, I'll probably look into something like that, mate. That's what I'd like to do, is build a pot up for, you know, the next sort of 20 odd years or whatever, 10, 15, 20 years, and use it to trade with, and then maybe use it as a pension later on in life or something. Yeah, so we've had 2 legs up, 2 legs back, and I think that's probably why there is some support down there, which we put there before price got down to us, and look, it reversed. I mean, that is a reversal if you've ever seen one. So it just goes to show you, if you do pay attention, the reason I'm paying more attention to these is because Osam is forever sending me pictures of how he's plotting out these, and he knows when he gets something like this, if he gets into a trade, he'll hold it. And often I'm seeing Osam with 10, 15, 20 points in hand in the middle of a trade. He's really good at reading these bigger pictures, he is. So I'm starting to pay attention, and that is pretty clear. 2 clear legs up, 2 clear legs back. Now, ordinarily, a channel like that, which fits so nice, you'd have a break and a chance of a retest of it, wouldn't you? But that thing, I had a feeling that wasn't going to come back, which is, I put that line there, and you can see that bit of support there. 2 clear legs down, into support 3 times, and then off like a rocket. I mean, that thing, look, it ain't coming back down now. So it just goes to show you. But this channel fits nice, doesn't it? And ordinarily, with like that, you'd expect a break, and there's no thoughts at all of that coming down. This thing's just going up. I mean, from its low, I mean, it's up 30. I mean, the market's moving a lot today. That's quite a range, that is. It's like 40 odd points top to bottom. So if you can capture a move like that, you're made. So this is the type of trade that Osam's catching. Maybe a higher lower, or maybe something like that, and he's holding on to them. Look at that, thing's going up, and it doesn't often do that many points in that tight of a range. I mean, that's what you call a reversal. Hello, my friend, how are you doing? We're just talking about you. you want to trade your own money, do it in a demo first. Reset your demo account to how much you want to try it. Yeah, that's a good idea, mate, definitely. To be honest with you, I think most people, when they go from Apex to their own money, they turn into cowards overnight, I think, don't they? You know, $5,000 in there, and I think I'm overdoing it with 1 micro. So, I mean, I wouldn't trade a lot, to be honest with you. I would trade sort of 1 contract maximum, I think. But the trouble is, I mean, when I'm trading this many counts in the middle of the day, kind of have my hands full anyway without having to worry about my own personal funds, you know what I mean? If I had a strategy where I may take 4 or 5 trades a day, then that may be an option. But at the moment, I'm taking sort of around about 3 to 5 trades a week. So coming back later to trade my own account or trading my own account, tying it all up to here, it would make me nervous tying everything up. Because it's one thing losing a PA account that's only really cost you $140, and it's another thing to lose your own funded account. So, you know, my plan, I suppose, over the next 5 years would be to build up a pot of my own just to trade. So maybe, you know, if I can get a bunch of payments and build up something like, I don't know, $50,000 or $100,000 into an account, I may trade my own. We'll see. It would be nice to, you know, if you can imagine, let's say you get $100,000. What's that? So 10% is 10,000, 1% is 1,000. So you could risk $2,000. Now, I think if you're risking 2%, that's probably sensible, $2,000. So if I'm risking, say on average, let's say $300 per 2 contracts, and I'm risking 2,000, I could probably trade about 8 contracts on that, 8 or 9 contracts. So, yeah, that's about right, isn't it? 8 or 9 contracts. So, if I make 200 and I'm probably doing 4 times, you're talking $800 to $1,000 per trade. So, if you get 3 or 4 trades, it's still not a huge amount, really, is it? It seems like a lot of money, but it's not really, is it? But I mean, if you can make, well, I mean, if you look at people like people like Trades by Matt and the other guy, the ginger-haired guy, and not Nutty, the other one, I forget his name, and Alpine, a lot of them have had $200,000-$300,000 in the space of 4 to 6 months. So $100,000 really is not a huge amount compared to what you can make. You can easily double that, I think, can't you? You know, if I got these accounts up to 2,600, I could take $20,000 out of that. You know, so once you start to get good at this, you can make some pretty good money from these prop firms. No argument there. So it's not that difficult to get 100 or even 200,000. You've got a nice chunk of money there to trade, so you can take some out of it and let it continue to grow. And then when you decide to retire from trading, you got yourself a nice lump sum pension. Maybe you can feather some off it over the years and you know, invest it into stocks of something. You know, S&P seems to have a great record over a long period of time. I think the S&P, even with that 5% correction, the S&P 500 is up 14% this year, and we're only just past the middle of the year. So I don't think there's many better things to invest in that are as safe as the S&P. Top 500 US companies, you know. I mean, it doesn't matter what you invest in. I mean, if we get a sort of another COVID or something, it's going to go down, isn't it? But long term, I think the S&P 500 is a solid investment. So nothing I'm trading here. I don't tend to take these unless we have a solid break to that EMA. It's just going to go up. Absolutely. Yeah. As I say, I read it the other day. With a 5% correction in the market, which we've had over the last week, the S&P 500 is up 14% so far this year, and we've still got 5 months left, 5-6 months left. So, I mean, that's as good as it gets, really, isn't it? But I think over the last 15 years, it's averaged 10%. So you can't go wrong with that. Really, 10%. Well, you know, on a pension. You know, if you want to save for pensions in years to come or whatever. I mean, there are many ways of making money. Crypto, I mean, if you know what you're doing, you can make a ton of money in crypto. But the trouble is, you know, I mean, we're talking about 10% a year. Crypto can come down 10% in a couple of days, and some. So, I mean, it's very volatile. But if you really know what you're doing and you stick to the safer things like your Bitcoins and stuff, you can do really well. I mean, if you bought Bitcoin at $15,000-$20,000 maybe 12 months ago, you're like 500%. It would take you years and years to earn that. You know, in stocks. But they can be very volatile if you don't know what you're doing. You need some experience in those things. But if I was a young lad again, you know, I wouldn't be thinking about a standard pension. I'd be putting money in Bitcoin every month. Just keep topping it up and topping it up. You know, I mean, so many things about Bitcoin, you know, from the people who really play it well. You know, there's people like Kathy Wood and Michael Saylor, people like that I tend to follow when it comes to crypto. And if Trump manages to win the election, I think that'll be even better for cryptocurrency if he stands what he says the other day. But people are starting to believe in Bitcoin, aren't they? Kind of like the new digital gold, isn't it? I mean, we're up to, what are we at? What is the market cap of trillion of Bitcoin? I know it's like a couple of trillion or 1.34 trillion, and that's at the moment. A lot of analysts think that Bitcoin's going to double before the end of this next bull run. I've heard people say 120, 180. That is, you start to get some serious money in Bitcoin. So this thing is turning in, well, so this is interesting. So you've had a leg and a leg, 2 legs back, and now this is pushing up. So I've only got so many days, loaded here, but after that correction, we have got support right the way along here. There may just be a bigger range here, but after that correction, this thing could go up a bit more. Who knows? Okay, I'm going to leave it there, folks. I tend to like to do 3 hours. It's getting hard to trade at the moment. It's slowing down again. I'm at 2 hours and 45 minutes. So good day for me. Got one trade up there, channel up. Now, that isn't a standard trade, I don't think, because there is kind of a thing. What I liked about it is channel break, 2 pushes to a new low. Now, there's going to be other people thinking this is coming down some more. So that is in a short. You wouldn't normally take that, would you? And that lower high to me, and I like the fact that twice it's bounced off that support there, and that to me is going to trap some shorts for sure, which is why I took that. Ordinarily I may not have done, because it's almost like a leg down with a break, but by the count it is a second entry short. It is also a failure, actually. If you look at that, there's our first attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, but you are going to trap shorts there, and that did push up. It didn't break above there until it hit there, but then there was probably a bunch of stops up there anyway. So, but it's going to trap trades there, thinking this is coming down. But this to me looks almost bottoming, and I think what sealed the deal is it looked better on one of my other charts, and I like the way it's clearly bounced twice on support. So that's the reason I took that one. It wasn't a huge risk, but it worked nice. It did pull back, but it continued up for its second leg. So there you go. So we definitely get more volume coming in now. It did go for a time when it was a bit quiet, but we're getting plenty of volume in now. So one trade on my 10 accounts, I'm up just $5 under $1,700 for the day. So you can still make plenty of money with 10 accounts. So there you go. I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you get a setup. Best of luck. But I'll be back tomorrow. Have a great evening. Stay safe. And I will leave you there. Bye for now.